A prenup is short for a prenuptial agreement, which is a contract that two people sign before they get married, and it establishes the property rights of both of them, and it lays out a plan for what will happen in the future in the event that the parties divorce, and sometimes in the event that one of them dies. A prenup can be an invaluable document to safeguard a family inheritance. Normally, if you didn't have a prenup and you inherited money and you used some of that money to benefit your marriage, you could be putting the entire inheritance at stake to be divided if you get a divorce. If you have a prenup, you can clearly define what would happen if you inherited money and you got a divorce. In other words, you could protect all of it just by having a signed contract before you get married. When somebody comes to talk to me about a prenup, I ask them what assets and debts they have and if they know what their future spouse's assets and debts are, because both sides are going to have to disclose that as part of the requirements to enter into this contract. We're also going to talk about whether you want to provide for any type of spousal support after a certain number of years have gone by, or whether you just want to have that as not part of it at all. The other thing we're going to talk about is you're going to want to do some estate planning as part of your prenup with your spouse so that there's no conflict between potential estate documents and prenuptial documents. Before I was a divorce lawyer, I thought getting a prenup was probably the least romantic thing I had ever heard in my life. It sounds like you are planning to get a divorce before you ever get married. But over the years, I have come to believe that it's actually a sign of mutual respect between the parties. If you love and trust somebody enough to say, I am marrying you for reasons that have nothing to do with money or the money I might eventually get from you, that's a pretty strong statement. I think prenups are a very underused tool. Most people sign them, put them in a safe deposit box, and never ever look at them again. Some people enter into a prenup, and after they're married for 10 years, they sign a document that revokes it and say, we don't need this document anymore. But if you've worked all your life to build an asset, like a law firm, the last thing you want is to put something like that at risk because life circumstances have changed beyond your control, and now you see yourself going through a divorce. I think prenuptial agreements are just absolutely fantastic.